Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of where we interviewing beautiful people on Synchro Shakti channel on YouTube. Today I want to introduce you to someone who's very special to us. Her name is Shruti. She is not only a Synchro Shakti Academy student of many years, she has done MMMC, LIF, AA Batch 1, AA Batch 2, Healy Fest Batch 1 and 2 also you went through because by
Oh,
that time you were already with us when
yeah,
Healy Batch 2 was happening. So at some point, she 2 years ago joined us at Synchro Shakti as our social media manager. This is her second year with us. We had a really fun 2 years.
yeah.
And in all that time, I did not know there was this one big looming story about Shruti that I didn't even know until like 4 days ago. So when I found out, I said, oh my God, we have to get you on an interview and talk about this. So, Shruti, welcome to our interview today.
Thank you. I feel so delightful actually because I've been interviewing this and editing this for a lot of time, and it's my chance to be on the frame.
Yes, she's been editing our interviews and now it's her chance to be on the frame. Did you ever imagine yourself giving an interview on
To
this
be
channel?
very honest with you, when I joined MMC and you asked us to write wishes, I have still at my diary because you were actually talking about an interview and you said that you too can manifest being in an interview with us. And I just wrote it down in that fraction of second. And yesterday I was just going through it and it was written on my diary, interview with Kartika.
If you have a screenshot, please put it up.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would be great. Okay, for proof, social proof.
yeah.
So let's start off with the big story. So let's start off with the backstory. Tell me about your history, your background, and what was the big struggle that you were going through?
Okay, so I come from a lower middle class family, very basic middle class family in India, living in a small town. I am from MP, Madhya Pradesh, and very recently, like almost 9 years since I'm working, I'm in Indore. But earlier, I used to stay in a very small town. People do not even recall the name. But very early on, what I remember in my memory, because I feel I have like erased a lot of my childhood memories, because so much of trauma attached to it. And the reason is I lost my father really early in my life. I was in my fifth standard, so basically 8 or 9 years or something. And the only thing I remember about my father is he being sick, so his both kidneys got damaged. And it was like I remember him going in and out of the hospitals all the time. My mother struggling with him. It was like financial crunch, issues of money, and it was not a great time, to be very honest with you. And that's my memory of my childhood. And in 2005, 1st of January, my father passed away on the
Hmm.
eve of New Year's.
Hmm.
And then on 2006, my Nanu passed away because we have shifted from my grandmother's house to my Nanu house. My mother was actually struggling to get a job to finally do something. And then my Nanu passed away. And eventually, then even I had a little brother, younger brother. He also got diagnosed with cancer, blood cancer and bone marrow cancer. It was very rare at that time, even today. And he also got diagnosed, and then in 2007 March he also passed away. So back to back 3 years of constantly dealing with death. It was very traumatizing, and I also became quite numb to the fact of visiting hospitals, seeing death so casually in and out. I was, back up until I was introduced to mindfulness and healing and stuff. I was not even aware that I had this stored back in my mindset because I was so numb to this very particular area. Plus, I had a lot of detachment issues, and I had faced a lot of growing up when I was in my dating era. I used to get detached from people, I used to get detached from friends and family, not very vocal about how do I feel about them. Because, back inside my head, I always felt if I just tell them how much I love and appreciate them, eventually they're gonna flip the
They
switch and
believe.
go away. Yeah, that was my issue growing up. while we are going through all this trauma of health issues and death and everything, I got diagnosed with vitiligo. And as I have read and know about vitiligo, it happens due to mental stress or emotional stress that you have been on inside you and you're not able to openly share it. Many of my doctors even told me. So I got diagnosed when my father was actually really ill, and that's when it all started. So I was going through everything, and meanwhile I had this issue of my skin not looking very similar to everyone around me. I had two colors of skin and it was all over my face. And I am just a child who is entering her teenage. And I was very conscious because
Mm,
of course I do not look the part. Everybody around, even the girls want to have the attention. But here I'm extremely conscious that I just do not want people to even look at me. So I used to wear clothing that will cover my, legs, hands, everything. I used to not pose for pictures. I used to hide away, run away, just to not have pictures of me. Even today, like I was when we were preparing for the interview, you asked me to go through pictures. When I looked at that pictures, now I feel so much pity for that particular younger self. Because earlier I used to hate myself to pieces. Like I used to avoid looking at the mirror because as soon as I looked at the mirror, the only thing I could see was so much of hatred, so much of
mm,
like I just want to beat myself up, not
mm,
be alive at all, and just
mm,
to like get rid. When I see a lot of questions, even today, when we study backstory of our students, and they always used to, come up with, I want to get rid of this, I want to get rid of that. And I just recall how I used to wanted to get rid of my skin color. And
mm,
at one point in time, I thought if I just completely turn white, this would like eventually solve everything for me.
mm,
So I even had a phase where I would try everything in my mother's makeup kit just to make myself completely white. So that was like also a struggle, and now I look back and I feel like it. Earlier it was, for me, it was like the greatest solution of all time.
mm.
So
Correct.
yeah, that was like the struggle of discovering vitiligo on the process of losing everything. Yeah.
And when you said fifth standard, it is such an unnatural experience too. At that time, most people have their families around, and you experiencing that at fifth standard, already it's in an unnatural,
Yeah.
unfamiliar world. And then to process through all of that,
Yeah.
plus, I mean, I can just imagine the amount of stored pain and trauma throughout your childhood. So at that time, what was your most deepest external desire? You said you wanted to just be fully white, but
Mm.
what was that internal desire that you had, that if I become completely white, what will that give me? Will it finally give me that sense of peace and acceptance?
Yeah, it was only cause of validation. I was seeking
Mm.
validation from everyone. From my See, when you're growing up in a very middle class family, the topic of discussion being a girl is who will get married to her
Right.
eventually.
Yes.
Because of course you're losing your father, lost your father. You're in the verge of losing your brother.
Mm.
Everybody around me was very worried that okay, what will happen to her? Who will marry her? Because she is not very particularly beauty standard type of girl. What will do with her the remaining piece of what is left? So I was seeking validation in and out everywhere, from my peers, from my family. I either wanted to hide away whenever there was a topic about me and my discussion. I just wanted to run away. I just want nobody to know my name and just hide. Because of course I was so traumatized. I just didn't wanted to have that attention at all. And I because I was actually getting the attention in the wrong manner. It was my and every time someone wanted to discuss about my vitiligo, I feel like I'm getting exposed.
Mm.
Exposed like in unnatural manner. So I was
Yeah.
feeling really, really, I cannot even express in words how bad I still have shivers
Yes.
and everything.
Yes. I can, it's like, also I'm thinking generally in the families and the culture, the softness, the way to approach something in a sensitive topic like this is not generally there. It's just like a who'll marry this girl sort of a,
Yeah.
way. So it's like you're not even fully understood. And for
Yes.
that, where that self-hatred comes from is because you didn't have the compassion, let's say, in some form of like, hey, listen, she's going through something and it's not her, to encourage her, to make her feel better about herself.
Yeah.
It's the opposite, is like who's going to marry her. So there's that brokenness. So you spoke about the that internal desire for validation. Now, what is the journey you went through that finally got you to realize something or learn something in your journey to help you?
So then I eventually studied hard and moved out of my place. I felt like liberation when I moved out of my home. Because it's not that my parents are bad or my relatives are bad or anything, but the opinion of them is something that was hampering me and my self growth. And I was not able to form my independent opinion. Plus, I was not able to even educate myself about what I'm going through.
Mm.
At one point in time, I actually wanted to understand this particular thing with LIGO. I wanted to understand who I am. I
Mm.
finally moved out when I was in college, and it was also like I received a lot of backlashes that she's a rebel, she wanted to stay alone, she has her desires, and blah, blah, blah. But they were not able to understand that this particular thing is for myself. I'm doing it for me. I need to know who I am. In order to
Mm.
survive, my parents cannot hold my hand throughout the journey. I need to be myself. When I moved out, I became, made some friends, really good friends. I would say that in college, I got some amazing friends who accepted me for who I am. And that gave me a sense of validation that I can be human again, that
Mm.
I am seen also, that I can exist. And even with my imperfection, I can
I'm
laugh.
still whole. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can be loved. Yes.
Yeah, I can still be loved, and people see me apart from my vitiligo.
Yeah.
And that was really, really helpful for me. I still hold very close to those few friends of mine. Then I eventually moved to Indore. I started working very early, started doing job. And then I was actually very inclined towards spirituality. I don't know how, but that was something within me. Eventually came across your YouTube video where you were talking about that MMC is going to happen really soon. I
Mm.
actually attended one of your webinars, and then I dropped. I didn't do anything.
Mm.
Again, that very particular video, because MMC was running through, and again a video popped up that webinar is coming up. Do join. Again, joined. And this time, the feeling within me is very, very strong. I don't know. I just looked at your face, and there was some sort of pull that this is it, Shruti. You have to take the plunge. And whatever I had my savings, I just like blindly, with blind faith, I put that on MMC, and I started doing MMC with you. And
This is 2020.
yeah, yeah,
This
2020.
is the live batches of
Yes,
MM.
live batches of MMC.
Oh,
And that's when I started doing MMC with you, and you introduced us to healing. Uh, at early stage, mindfulness was not at all easy with me, because as soon as I sat down to do mindfulness, there were so many noises, Kartika, so many noises within me that was like, I every time I used to feel like crying, and I
yeah.
used to feel like hollowing, and I just cannot sit still for like even 5 seconds to analyze even some sort of pain. So I started with Ho'oponopono, because you also shared that start with something at least. Started with Ho'oponopono, and it took me even 6 months with Ho'oponopono to start analyzing that I have some sort of pain, because I've
Mm.
numbed that thing so much. But I
Mm.
used to always feel a pain in my back, on
Mm.
my ribs. I used to feel intense pain on my back ribs, but I was not very aware what exactly it's that and how to process this particular pain. Eventually, that pain started moving, and you told us about pain body, and it moves and it has to have a shape and stuff. That's when I was like, okay, this is something that feels like, and started doing my healing. I have done, I feel like almost 2 to 3 years of constantly healing myself every night. I still do it very religiously, but I have done it every night. I do not recall any night
So
that
how
I've
did
slept.
so in MMMC we didn't go deep into healing. Did you at that time join LIF or something where we got into healing, or that you, from whatever I mentioned, little small bits and pieces in MMMC?
So
You,
I was working in a job, and whatever I had, I'd spend on MMC. I didn't have much resources
mm,
back. So
mm.
I used to watch your videos, YouTube
Oh,
videos,
okay. Oh, okay,
and the
okay.
mindfulness playlist
Mm.
that
Which you
has,
have recently now sent.
yeah.
Okay, so there's a history behind that playlist.
Yeah,
Mm.
the mindfulness playlist is something that I have embodied within me. I have done
Mm.
everything from that playlist. That's why I'm very like very adamant with people like go watch her YouTube videos. It has saved my life in a way.
Um,
So those particular videos have taught so much to me. And eventually, when I actually practiced, I attracted a lot of abundance also. Uh,
mm.
and with that particular money, I spent it on AA. I joined AA. Before LIF, I joined AA. I did my money stuff. And also in my money journey, I was earning merely 20,000 something. And today I earn in lakhs. I have money.
You're the highest paid
Yeah,
student, highest paid staff member at Synchro Shakti.
highest paid staff member. My money is energy. I'm telling you, Karthik, it's supernatural to me. Supernatural. I just have to like close my eyes and just reconnect. And even my husband today is like, you just have to close your eyes, and tomorrow morning you'll have get a
Well,
message.
and it's randomly, like the kind of, not only like, you remember how I messaged you the other day? Oh, my accountant said that I have to send it.
Yeah,
Suddenly it will come randomly in your
randomly out of
experience.
nowhere.
Bonus is I mean, you
I have done
really embodied.
multiple interviews with people about vitiligo because I've started getting vocal. I used to go and do those interviews. The next day or day after that, someone just emailed me back that for that particular interview, we would like to pay you $3,000,
Yeah.
$4,000. That's how magically money come to me out of nowhere, and they
Power
never
of AA.
informed me. Yeah,
I'm going to shamelessly plug my course in AA.
me too, me too.
Because it is that's the thing, I have this connotation with when people come to a program and they see the price, like the sticker, before they come to the
Yeah,
program, they think that sticker is expensive, for example.
no,
But get inside the program, I have seen people crying and said, why did you only charge this much? You should have charged far more.
exactly.
This sounds weird, but I promise you, when you study the principles of abundance, the amount of abundance that will come, the gate, floodgates open to abundance,
It's a
and then you
hundred
will be like,
percent.
oh, man. It's not just my program. I'm assuming any abundance program will do that if you just tap into the energies of money.
Money. Yeah,
Like,
so it did that really well for me. And eventually I enrolled with LIF. And I had my journey with mindfulness. It was not easy, as I told you. But eventually, when I kept on practicing, I had nights where I used to cry. I used to lock myself inside my room. And then I used to cry for 3, 4 hours continuously using that mindfulness practices. And I have done it for like weeks after weeks after weeks just to release that particular pain out of me. And once I finally let go of that pain, I just the word that came out of my mouth was papa. And I
mm,
felt so familiar of that particular word because I've never, even in my memory, it's to that I've never called my father with that loving sound.
mm,
And I had so much, forgiveness to do for my father because I have so many layers and layers of trauma attached to him that he went away. He had the choice to stay, but then it was not him. I had forgiven my father now completely. And I'm so glad I did it because I had, held myself back. When you say people that you have to do it for yourself, you have to go ahead and forgive people, you're doing it for yourself. I am the live example. I have to forgive my father. It was not for him, it was for me. I felt that kind of freedom. I felt so much liberated after that, and I have accepted myself after that.
No, I just wanna, that's really powerful. And I just wanna interject a teaching here because now we get into our proper, like what we work on, what we teach is nobody can actually take away the joy of you enjoying a sunset or you enjoying a walk or you enjoying an ice cream, but it can be taken away if you're holding unforgiveness. The event is over, the person is gone, the situation is over, but you're still struggling to enjoy life or the movement of life because the pain is in you.
Yeah.
So, but for us to be able to just let go, not just like intellectually, you want to sit with the pain and breathe through that pain, but when you let go, you'll notice that this is the beautiful thing about mindfulness. I don't know whether you experienced it, but I did, is I would tear up just looking at a cloud. Because
Mm.
that's how much beauty and oneness and life was in that experience. Just looking at a cloud, it felt like you won $1 million. That's the beauty of mindfulness. That the way that it makes you fully fall in love with life because you're not holding on to the complete shatteredness of the past. So at this point, your plan was to practice mindfulness. You were dealing with the pain. You were breathing through the pain. You started feeling lighter. After that, how so a big part of this thing is who's going to marry her, right? How did you eventually break out of that and actually, because you are married, so how did that journey work out for you?
So when I finally accepted myself, because in mindfulness, I felt like there's a lot of part when I forgive everyone, and I finally understood who I am and what I am. And when I started loving myself, there was an exercise in Helifest about self appreciation. It was very difficult for me to start with self appreciation because I have grown up hating myself throughout. But then you told us in class that's gonna be hard, but keep on doing it. And that nudge of keep on doing it actually helped me break through. And I start jotting down about what do I love about myself. It started with very small that I love my hairs. Yeah, good hairs. Good hair.
You have great hair. That is so true.
So I think that is also a practice that I've done, and eventually I have beautiful hairs because of that. Because that's my holding point, the starting point, the only thing I could see myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have great hair, good hair. And
Mm,
I started accepting my skin color. That
mm,
okay to have it like you look beautiful. You look
mm,
amazing with whatever you have. And what I have noticed that as soon as I started self appreciating and eventually feeling those emotions within me, and the consciousness went down. I'm not very conscious of my vitiligo showing up anywhere at all. A lot of people used to randomly reach out to me, like I'm normally walking on the street earlier, and someone will jump and come at me and be like, you should get a treatment of this very particular thing. Aren't you going to a doctor? Aren't you taking a treatment? This is going to be very harmful for yourself, for your society, for the even your future generations. Randomly out of people, out of nowhere,
mm,
they come and talk.
mm.
When this particular thing I started practicing self appreciation, I felt like even people who used to talk to me, they never noticed about vitiligo. Even you said you didn't know I had vitiligo.
Never knew, and I've met you like multiple times, and
Yeah,
I've
and
seen you, and
it's very visible. You can see on my
mm,
face.
mm,
So it's
mm,
not something that I'm hiding.
right.
It's very visible, but because I'm not conscious about it at all, people do not look at me that way anymore.
And not only do people not notice it, but also your face is like the color of your face is normal.
Yeah,
But you used to have,
yes, I used to have it like go up above my eyelids here, all
so,
here.
so it's basically reversing.
Yeah,
And so
it has. Because my
it's,
emotional stress level got so down, I'm so calm on the surface. Even if something pops up, I know how to, tag that particular thought and come back to my normal
you're
conscious.
proper Synchro Shakti Academy student. You
Yeah, very
went through
trained.
everything. You spoke about Helifest, you spoke about LIF, AA, MMMC, all the big guns, and
Yeah,
your vocabulary as you're speaking, it's like, yeah, she's really studied all of
yes.
these.
Even on
Yeah.
my daily life today, whenever there's something that happening around me, I simply just come and tag those particular thoughts and come to my center, my Zen mode, and
I
start
will ask
from
you a
there.
question. So since we're having this conversation, I love to work. For me, work is my vacation. You have something like that. You are,
Yeah.
I, you're the kind of, I always give, since the last few years, I've always appreciated the team that I have everywhere, every day. But you're the kind of team member who, after I tell you to log out, also you're still logged in. It's 2 in the morning, you're still working. So does this, like when you're working so much, does that cause you stress and cause that, or is that like you don't feel stress even when you're working and you have deadlines and things like that?
I feel I thrive when I'm working. I
Yeah, so
really
work is vacation for you like me.
Yeah, I really enjoy my work, Kartika. And I feel like I've come to this very particular place of struggling with doing work that I didn't like at all, to finally doing the work that I truly enjoy. I actually like putting out that videos on YouTube. I actually like going through those comments, even at 2 at night. When I see someone writing that particular comment, I jump in joy. Ki, aha, they get it. They get the teaching. They get the particular. It's
Yeah.
not that the comments I'm getting or the videos views are increasing. It's for me, it's basically like, okay, that particular person got the teaching, it will help them. They do not understand it today, but they will. Because I have been through in that my journey for myself. I had watched a video, ignored it, watched a webinars, ignored it.
Ignored it, and
Yeah,
then
and
suddenly it's
then
come back.
yeah, then I today I'm like I'm a flag bearer of Synchro Shakti, but I ignored. That process started with me from ignorance. The video was coming, I was ignoring. Eventually, it hit me. So whenever I see some sort of people coming and eventually finally accepting that, yeah, they need some sort of work, I feel like with you, I'm also winning. I'm like, yeah, one more person whose life is gonna, turn or shift around 360-degree. That's just, that gives me so much of joy from within. And
Oh, wow.
that's why I embody Synchro Shakti. I do not feel like I'm a team member. I feel like this is my brand, and if someone is going through some sort of stuff or difficulty, it's my responsibility to step ahead and be there for them. I do not
Yes.
feel like it's my work or log in or log out time. I live
Mm.
this particular thing with
You
me.
live it, absolutely. So now the marriage part of it, how did you end up meeting your partner?
Yeah.
What was your, because you said that it was hard for you to trust, it was hard for you to
Yes.
open up. Like, so you said it started with me accepting myself,
Mm.
and then what happened?
I accepted myself, and I'd had this thing. I'm very fearful about arranged marriage. Also, I feel like now that concept was fearful because I've seen in my family arranged marriages going haywire. Plus, the everything, who will marry her particular thing was very, something that I cannot shift that particular thought. So, the only thing that I could hold was, what if I get married to a friend? If my partner is my friend, it's gonna all work out fine.
Always
And
be good. Yeah.
yeah, and then we did a one exercise, focus wheel. If you recall, we do focus wheel. So we were doing focus wheel for different life areas, and I did focus wheel for life partner. And I jot on every qualities. I even wrote he should be my friend, and then that particular relationship should evolve into relationship. I wrote it very specifically.
So wait. So you attracted him after coming into this work, not before.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
not someone. Oh, okay. So wait, I don't know all these stories. So you have to tell me. So you came to MMMC and did the focus wheel in
No, no,
2020, or
no.
you did it
I
in
I did
Healyfest?
it on
Mm.
Healy Fest.
First, Healyfest one. So
Yeah,
that's 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
2022.
Yes, and we started dating two
Uh-huh.
years ago only. I did focus wheel, and just after like 2 weeks, he was my friend. He was basically a very good friend of mine. We were colleagues, and out of nowhere, he just came and told me that he has some sort of feelings and emotion for me. But me being me, I forgot about focusing and I was drifting away from him. Like, no, 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 I cannot do this. Please go away. Please go away. So 6 to 8
Yes.
months, I was just running away. And eventually, somewhere down the line, I recalled about Focus Wheel that it's me. I actually wrote it
I
down.
created this. I wanted a friend. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it very specifically. He should be a friend and everything, the qualities, and he's everything. Very supportive. I finally accepted him, and he accepted me for who I am and what I am. His family, I was very worried about his family because I'm someone who has vitiligo. Their family will accept or not, because in India that is also a very big thing. So I told him, if you really want to get married to me, you have to go and talk to your family first. And if only they accept me, I will talk, or we can even start thinking about dating each other. And just said it out loud. I thought he just, go away, or he won't talk to his family. Who does that in first or second conversations? But he eventually told
Mm-hmm.
his family about me. Their family talked to me. I told them about what exactly is this particular situation,
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and they accepted me wholeheartedly. And I tell you, Kartika, they
It
don't.
also seems like you said it from a very self-accepting place. Like, this is me.
Yeah,
Like, this is me, guys. What do you like it or not? But this is me. So you were already like self-appreciative. I won't say this is me from a spiritual point of view. It's not you. It's
yeah,
skin. But you said this is part of the experience. So it's okay if this person says yes or no because this is me. And
yeah.
from that self-acceptance, these guys also accepted you.
Exactly. So basically, if I brief you, mindfulness actually given me so much of self acceptance. To be very honest with you, because earlier I was just wanted to get rid of this very particular body, and I was ready to do any and everything just to get rid of this particular skin, this body. Eventually, with mindfulness, I got so much into myself with self appreciation and stuff that I said, okay, this is who I am, and I love and accept myself completely. If anybody want to come into my life, he has to see me and appreciate me for who I am. And that is when he came. His family also came, accepted me. His family does not come from a very city background. They live in a very small town, but they have such an open mentality. They accepted me wholeheartedly. They loved me and have such a great pair of in-laws, Kartika. So seriously sweet. So sweet. I cannot
Mm-hmm.
even tell you in words.
And
Super,
you
super.
got married this year, right?
Yeah, in December 24th, I got married.
Yes.
It's just
Yeah.
6 months. We're completing this.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
very supportive, very sweet pair of, family.
But
Uh,
you've known them for a while before, so it's like you got
yeah.
married now, but you've known them and they've been sweet the
Yes.
whole time. It's not like,
Yeah,
huh,
yeah, yeah. I've known them for almost
now.
2 years now.
Yeah, yeah. It's like they're sweet now, but wait till next year. No, they've been
No,
sweet
no,
since
no.
the
They're extremely
beginning.
sweet from last 2 years and
Yes.
extremely supportive.
Yes.
And yeah, that was my journey.
And
So
I
today,
one more thing, because I knew about the history that you went through with your family. I knew about the financial stuff that y'all are going through and all of that. And I also remember the day that you bought your first car.
yeah.
It was you took a photo with the car and the
Yes.
ribbon and everything, and you said what a big deal that was for you
Yeah.
to be able to afford that. So all of these like that. For you remember how you were telling me in the webinar too, because we just yesterday we did our first HealyFest webinar, and we
Yes.
worked on the webinar for 4 months, and there was this whole full circle moment, right? And Shruti was telling me, she's like, I need to see your full circle moment, and I
Yes.
was putting all when your full circle moment, you have the marriage, you have the car, you have the top salary, you have the the self love, the body that you're now enjoying, and awesome hair, and all of these things in your full circle moment. So
Yeah.
what would you say, like, if someone is going through this interview and wants to have that big learning, that big thing, what would be your biggest advice to them to for marriage or for self-acceptance or for healing of their past, because there's so much you've done? What would you tell them would be the core thing to teach them?
First and foremost, I would say come and join Synchro Shakti. Even
Mm.
if you cannot afford a academy course, and this is coming from a team member who knows what goes inside one course. And even in webinar, Kartika said this is the particular price and my team has been saying, please increase it's us. Me, I'm telling you, we are that team member who are fighting her that please, this is not the number, we have to increase it. But
Yes,
she's
if you think our
adamant.
courses are expensive, it's actually priced far lower than what it actually is
Yeah,
worth. And not just team members, people who end up coming into the program will fight me on pulling the price up.
yeah, and plus so much of deep work that goes within those courses, every session, every class, every copy me sheet also has, it has so much.
She was
And
telling me the copy me sheet, she told
yeah,
you told me because I was like, copy me sheet is it is worth this, and I just skipped it over because in my head it's like, oh, I don't know if whether people get. I get it because I practice it. This is my world, but I don't know whether other people get it. And Shruti was like, "You just skipped through the such an important thing. Like,
yeah,
copy me." Just for context, is I've always wanted. I was telling this in yesterday's webinar.
mm,
I've always wanted to, if my mentors, people I look up to who have achieved things that are very beautiful for me. For example, like Eckhart or um, anybody who's like Russell Brunson or whoever is doing really phenomenal in their field. I've always wanted to get an inside view into their
yeah,
mind and see how are they actually dealing with this situation or how are they personally dealing with that situation. So if I could get an insight and they could give me, okay, so this is what I do. I do this when such a situation comes. It's $1 billion thing for me. So I wanted to create that for our students, which we did in yesterday's webinar on 7 different situations and how exactly I deal with it. And for me, it was like, yeah, so normal. But she was the one who was like, you should see what a huge deal this is. And
yeah, exactly. So so much goes behind the doors. I would say someone who is very new to this very particular thing, just start listening to our videos, to whatever is available on YouTube, on
we have
Instagram.
free classes.
We have free classes. So just come. I'm not saying start with pen and start practicing. Just listen. Come again and again. Allow yourself, open that particular door. That's all I'm saying. Everything else will follow. Everything else will eventually, the dots will connect. But just allow yourself, open that particular door and listen.
I just want
Yeah.
to point out few things here. Even in our free classes, free videos, a lot of things are there.
Yeah.
But you don't want to treat it like a free video. That's the only. This is what I said even in yesterday's webinar. People, because we are in an information age, and there is so much of information, everything ends up having the same status. In like, if you look at the brain, you look at it all as just information. But the one idea that can completely change your life, like couple of days ago, we in Vibe Shift, we were having this channel message of the day, and I said something, and the one student put on the feed, she said, oh, this completely broke my belief, and that I don't have to heal in order to manifest. And I said, we have said that in free, like proper training, free
Yeah.
training, but we said that for years, and she never knew that teaching, but it took one moment in Vibe Shift for her to break that resistance. But I said, I hope you guys, when a free training is coming up, even if it's a webinar, there's still so much. Like yesterday's webinar, you studied all our courses.
Yeah.
Yesterday's webinar that we did, which by the way, we're doing again on 28th. So if you want to, it's called How to Change Your Life in 6 Months Without 5 a.m. Rituals and Without Forcing Positivity. If you want to register, you can find the link below. So we'll put the link below. But even in yesterday's webinar, you've studied all the courses and still you had things to jot
Yeah.
down for your
Yes.
life. So
I have
count
my
the things.
notes. I can share it. Yeah, there are so many things in even in that very particular webinar. So many, because I think Kartika, it's not just another course. You evolve in your journey. You have your learnings, and you make sure to put that learning in our new courses. So it's not old courses that I'm coming for. It's basically a new altogether thing that even as a student or even as a team member, I have to go through and reconnect my dots. So
Yeah.
basically I feel like I need to switch again, reconnect and electrify myself and manifest a greater life once again.
Yeah, so the point here is that it's not about paid courses, it's not about money, it's about even in free courses, if you just, like she said, listen, Open yourself up, listen to the ideas, try to put them in your mind, but have low information diet. This is such an important thing because if you, like for me, a lot of people, I have the same teachings. Nothing
Yeah.
changes. Only the teachings evolve into the higher version of it in the higher word. A lot of people ask me about switch words or some words. I have no idea what any of that is. All I know is my field. I know my HeliFest method, which basically has everything in it from all the things we learned in MMMC, LIF. But the more, let's say, the 100 times more evolved version is HeliFest 2.0. Now, this is the same. Now, I take the same thing and I will dive 100 layers deep into it. So I master it as opposed to millions of other ways in which one can change their life. I don't touch that because these are the ones that resonate with me and I try to practice these. So
Yeah.
they're the ones that work for me and I go deeper. And this is what we said even in yesterday's webinar is the same formula. No one stays in alignment all the time. Nobody is
Yeah.
in perfection all the time. That's human. Contrast is part of the human experience. But every time I have drifted away, it's always been the exact same formula that has brought me back
Mhm.
to thriving in life. Every time it's the same formula. So it's a one formula, low information diet. Just practice it. If you want to know what that is, it's free. It is given for free. It is in the chat. You come for the webinar that is coming up.
Yeah.
Go through that. So again, you don't have to buy, you don't have to study, you don't have to, like she said, pen and paper, sit and practice and heal for the next 1 year. Don't have to do any of that. It just starts with opening your mind up because one idea is enough to drop resistance that you get for free. There's nothing, you don't need to pay for an idea that can change your
Yeah.
life. You only need to be open to listening.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to add one thing, and that is also something that I faced being in this internet age. Every second or third reel is about a new coach, a new methodology. But there's one thing that stuck with me when I was struggling, because every coach has something to say, and I'm saying everything is valuable. There's nothing wrong with teachings. But one thing that you told me very early on, that to choose one mentor and stick to that teaching. Any mentor, it could be Synchro Shakti, it could be anybody in this whole wide world that you connect with, but choose that one mentor and stay with her teaching. Trust that teacher. I have struggled with, because when I was entering, there were also so many teachers evolving during COVID. And I was struggling with who to trust. Okay, this can work, this can work, this can work. So 6 months down the line, I was wasting my time trying everything. But then eventually on MMC webinar, you told me that stick to one and trust. And that is what made me today who I am, and stick to your teachings. I completely, with my eyes closed, I trusted everything that you told me, and it has done so much of changes for me. So for everyone watching, I just want them to know that if you're going through something like that, choose one and stick to that very particular coach or teacher. uh, do whatever they say and things will shift in your favor.
Yeah. I think that's for me. I have just Eckhart.
Yeah.
And I have Russell Brunson and a little bit of Abraham Hicks and Michael Singer. This is the holy trinity for me. I have
Yeah.
only but listened to the and Ashrit. Okay, they're my main people that I listen to now is Ashrit. This is my holy, let's say, triangle. I have not gone beyond this. I do, of course, I've read a lot of books, but when it comes to like seriously studying them and going deeper, it's just these guys. So a lot of
Yeah.
people say, ask me, Katka, tell me about your mentors and tell me about your men. I just have these guys, and it's been these guys only. I have not gone beyond that. But with these guys, like with Michael Singer, I've read all of his books. With Eckhart, I've read all of his books. I've watched as many videos as possible with Michael and Eckhart, with Abraham Hicks. I have watched as much as I can possibly watch. With Ashrit, I take their one-to-one sessions. I go through, in Ashrit recordings, we have a whole playlist of Ashrit
Yeah.
guidance. And I was telling this on the YouTube live 2 days ago on health. Ashrit, that one video that is on on our YouTube for free, Ashrit guiding on health. I take that. I have heard that video 1,000 times, and every time anything, it was the smallest of thing that I wanted to shift with my health, I would go back to the video and it'll shift.
Mhm.
It's free resources,
Yeah.
but I just stick to them. I haven't gone into 100 billion other teachings. One teacher, one teaching, and go deep into it because Ashrit is and Abraham are the law of attraction part. for me, Michael Singer and Eckhart Tolle, the mindfulness part for me. But everybody else is beautiful. I mean, I love Mooji's teachings and I love Ramana Maharishi teaching. I love this. But to go deep into it, I just picked these guys and I'm just studying them and just
Yeah,
going deep into the evolution.
that's
Yes,
super important actually.
it is because it switches off the noise and you focus on mastery.
Yeah, actually.
Super. So, is there any final words before we end for today that you felt you wanted to share that you couldn't share so far?
No, that's all. I felt I have opened myself completely. And if there's anything or anyone who is struggling with anything of that sort, you always have me, you always have Kartika. We are open, we are always there to help our people. Just reach us out. Instagram, YouTube, Academy, we're open. That's all.
That's amazing. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you so much, Shruti, for sharing. And your story is really, really powerful, but it is yet but a story, which means
yeah,
nothing to be identified with, something to take strength from, build your foundations on the lessons, and the rest merges away as sand and sands
yes,
of time. And we can move on to phenomenal experiences of life. And congratulations on your full circle moment with
yeah.
everything. And this also soon we will have a follow up where your hands would be
Yes,
completely back to your regular skin
yes,
color. And I think that one thing you said was so powerful. You said when I started self appreciating, my awareness of my vitiligo only was not there. It was
yeah,
like I didn't really focus on it, and so nobody else noticed it. When it was your main focus of this is my insecurity, you wear your insecurities on your sleeves. It's also something we teach in Healy Fest because people come and say, "Oh, these guys made this comment about me," or they go, "Yeah, that's you." Somebody recently said and you have to you will recognize your own insecurities based on what people are constantly pointing out about you. So it's your work to do, and and that's another thing about I don't know about other coaches, but about me is I'm always learning and I'm always evolving and I'm always every day is like it's really intense to be in my head because I'm every moment is a learning experience to get to the next level. Everything, even if I'm washing dishes, there's some personal development going on while I'm washing my dishes. If I'm doing my YouTube live, there's a personal development going on because there's always my brain is naturally understanding life and understanding myself through everything that's happening, and then through that understanding we're able to change other people's lives. Hopefully that is our goal anyway to do so. I think that was great lesson and teaching. So with that, I think it's a good point to end for today, so you don't have too much editing work also with the length of this video. And yeah, we'll see you guys. Just let us know in the comments if her story was inspiring. It goes to show that no matter how painful your past, you can still have a really joyful future. I think that's a great one.
yeah, it really is.
Priti, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right. See you guys. Please comment below. And of course, the registration link is in the description to join the upcoming webinar on 28th of June. In case you're watching this post 28th of June, the webinar link will still be there for the next time because we'll be running this. Okay. So see you all. Love you. Thank you for watching. And I will see you soon in another
Bye
video.
bye. See ya.
Bye. Thanks, Shruti.